Welcome to the True Player Development. We're trued up, True Player Development headquarters. And what does true mean? Well, that's a great question, right? True means that there's so much wrong in the individual. We'll say we call it skills training. Other people call it private training, personal training, whatever you want to call it. There's so much wrong with it. And a lot of club coaches out there, they say, hey, you're wasting your money on that stuff. And you know what? They're right. For most people. Most of the people out here that are doing skills training are doing it like team training. So why are you paying a premium price to get something you're already getting from your team coach, but just less players there? Okay, you get a little bit more focus, but the idea is not to just put players through drills, but it's to actually teach them the skills, right? And that's what we try to do. I've never really been a team coach. How I got into skills coaching was, well, I identified at a college and at a professional level, I had a lot of weaknesses. So I taught myself all of these things. I analyzed the game. I broke them down. That's how I became a skills coach, right? My partner, just fantastic at what he does. Always been a fantastic coach, able to understand the kids, able to give his vision to the players. He's fantastic at it, and he's put in the hours to get there, right? He's been a team coach and a director for a long time. And I can tell you one thing, when he came into this, he's like, I didn't really, understand what you did until I watched you and I really got in the environment. And that's, I think, what we need all of you to do when you're watching this is we need you to come out to a session. We need you to watch some of our sessions. And we're going to get them out there. We haven't marketed much, but what is true player development? Well, true means giving them everything they need to be the best player they can. And that doesn't mean loads of time. We don't want them 4 hours a week. We want them 1 hour focus instead of 4 hours there a little bit. 1 hour focus on the skills that are going to develop them as players and inevitably give them a growth mindset and develop them as people. So we're going to get into something right here. Actually, we're going to look at what we do for scheduling for players each day, and we're going to also look at what ends up is the result of it. So let's zoom in here and kind of go from there. Okay, so what we love about this, and this is our database, we've created it. It's how we schedule and plan sessions, right? And it's pretty simple. We'll look back on this day here, 10/17. That was a recent date here, and we'll go to some of our sessions here, and we're gonna look at here. We're gonna look at Kalen Sachs, right? We love working with him. He's fun to work with. And we've do some awesome things. So we have 3 phases to our training, and this is going to be weird. He actually gets there 30 minutes early. The dad and the Kalen are so professional. I love it. So I don't need to start with phase 1. And what phase 1 is, you'll see we have phase 1 over here on this side over here. What phase 1 is essentially, we have 3 phases to our session because we have an hour usually with the players, right? Sometimes it's an hour and a half. We've done 2 hours, but usually it's an hour. So we try to get through phase 1 within the first 10, 15 minutes. It can be faster if the player gets there early and we feel like they're mentally gauged. So it's both a mental and physical warm up, right? So the body's not out there yet. So we got to do some light movements. We don't like to do so much dynamic movement, we don't like to do so much stretching and static stretching and things like that. Everything we try to do is with the ball, right? In one way or the other. Maybe it's stability on the ground where they're getting their bodies loose a little bit. We will get in some dynamic movement, especially if we feel like they need it. They're coming off an injury. But for the most part, we think it can be done with the ball as long as you don't go intense, as long as you're not shooting right away, as long as you're not sprinting. So he doesn't need to be in phase 1. They're there usually 30 minutes before the session. So they're well into phase 2. So we did a little bit of passing off, heads up passing. So that's actually what this was here. So he did a combo where he received the ball, played it off another player, and then he got it back and hit it into the target he had to hit. And we can kind of show you a little bit from the session. We can get back to it. But I think it's cool that, a 9-year-old player were able to do this. I think that's awesome. So we have everything we've done here. We did some speed drilling. We did some set pieces with a 9-year-old player, and we did some very difficult shots rolling across the body, and he did well with all of it on the day. Very, very impressive from him. And overall, I was extremely happy with his performance as usual. But what we like about our database here, what's cool about our database is, okay, so now we go here. Let's go to our database, and this is our database here. Now, if we type in his name here, we have all the drills that he's done right here, right? So these are all the sessions he's done. These are all the drills that he's done. I can look back at all the sessions here and see all of it, right? And to be honest, I mean, we can go for a while. I should probably just put his first name because it's not all updated yet. But if we go, you see there's a lot of sessions in here. And what is cool about our database is that we can look through it. Hey, let's look at the passing we did. So you see, I'm coming over here. Let's look at the passing he did. Yeah, let's look at the dribbling that he's done. Oh, he's done a lot of dribbling. So maybe we can back off that. What's the dribbling that he's done? Let's look at the striking he's done. Okay, hasn't done as much striking. Let's look at the shooting. He's done a lot of shooting, right? So at the end of the day, we like this tool and we can send this to the parents. We can send this to coaches, but it helps us go. When I go to schedule a session, say I want to schedule Kalen for another session. Well, I know he's going to be there early. So I only need to add a phase. Let's go Kalen Sachs. The date is, we'll just say today is the date, right? And for whatever reason, so the date's today, and then we're going to look at phase. He's going to go into phase 2 because he always goes into phase 2. We want to let's do some first touch with him on the day. We haven't done first touch on the ground for a while. Let's do first touch. Let's do the staggered. So we know what this is. It's just moving diagonally back and forward and receiving the ball with a certain set of first touches we add in there. And let's say 10 minutes. So what's so cool about this is we go back to the database, we update the information, and now look, now we have this gone in there. So everything we do for him is automatically going to be filed into our database. Then we go back later. Hey, very talented 9-year-old center midfielder. We can go look. Oh, here's another midfielder. We type in his name and we have it. And then we go back. This is what our database looks like. Right now, it's all of our players. And now, like I said, we go in, we type Kalen, we get all of his information. And I have all the information from his sessions here. And now I can go back, and when I schedule a session, I can plan the session. So I don't think most coaches even look at what an individual player means. Nonetheless, have this database that you can go back and look what they've done for a while and progress of what they've done, build off it, add things in they need. And sometimes it's insight from the player or the parent, but this is what we love about what we're doing. And